If you're in Seattle, and you need to buy or sell a home, we'll be right there for you. Because we're the realtors that you can trust. So go to ronanddonsitdown.com.
You're listening to The Ron and Don Show on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Hey, you guys, what's going on? And welcome to another episode of the Ron and Don Show. And we are back live in the Les Schwab studio.
What is up, Ron and Don Nation?
Hey, real quick, if you want to watch the show instead of just listening to the show, how can people do that?
Yeah, if you're a Spotify person, you can just click a button right there in the player that shows the video feed.
Yeah.
Or you can go to YouTube and just find our channel, Ron and Don Radio, and watch it right there.
All right, let's get to Ron and Don's top 5 at 5.
Ron and Don's top 5 at 5.
3, 2, 1.
All right, I want to say, give a shout out to Alex. He tackled me in the shampoo aisle the other day because I'm in there. I have thinning hair, so I'm in there buying the thinning hair shampoo. He's been working at Bartell's, which is now CVS. He's a lot of feelings about working at Bartell's for 24 years and now working at CVS. Big Ron and Don fan. And he said, make sure you thank Ron. He goes, I can't believe that you brought the top 5 at 5.
It's back.
Yeah. And then he looked at me and he goes, you know what? It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
You're darn right it is.
It is 5 o'clock somewhere.
As Alan Jackson once said.
Then he asked me another question. He said, are you guys ever going to bring the band back? Are you guys ever bringing back Country Evil? And just so people know, our band Country Evil, we were country when we lived in Dallas because we noticed that women down there, and Ron and I were trying to meet women at the time, they really like country music. At the same time, a lot of our Dallas listeners were guys, right? So we thought they like evil. They like evil.
We took a playbook out of the band Kiss.
Is that what we did?
Yeah, it's like if you want to blow up a band, you need to have nobody likes a crispy clean band.
Yeah,
you have to have a little edge to you.
Yeah,
like the best Johnny Cash is when he was a little bit evil.
Yes,
the best rock and roll is when it's a little bit evil. Like no one's like, oh, Ozzy's too nice. Like you need to have a little bit of Led Zeppelin. They worship the Lord. No, it's like you have some occult stuff in there. Boom, you blow up. So we wanted it a little bit evil and then a little bit country.
Yeah, a little bit country.
But not too much.
A little bit, Donnie Marie. I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. We're a little bit country. We're a little bit evil. I got a big announcement because we have a drum roll because I have a very, very, very big announcement for Alex at Bartell's, which is no longer Bartell's, which he has some hard feelings about, which is now CVS. And he did explain to me why hang on. He did explain to me why the shelves at Bartell's. He did explain to me why the shelves at Bartell's have been bare for so long, but I don't have time to get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, Country Evil is back. But well, just so people know, Ron and I do a Christmas card every year, and this year we decided, you know what, my son wants to play on it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then my friend Liz, who's a drummer, and she's a lot more attractive than you and I are, and she's a much better singer, she said, I'll come in and sing with you guys. I think we should reach out to Rachel Bell when we did our van series when we were rolling around in a van a number of years ago.
Way back in the archives.
I think maybe we reach out to her. Here's the thing, though, is we're going to do a singing Christmas card. We're recording Saturday night, right?
I got my bass all tuned up.
Okay, and you've been gathering microphones and everything else?
Microphones, mixing consoles, the whole nine.
Yeah, I was practicing with my son, Gunnar O'Neill, last night. He has his lead part down. And I don't know, maybe we'll even throw in some Do You Hear What I Hear? I know you probably don't want to.
Carried away.
I know you don't want to do that, but I get mixed up. Is it the night wind who talks to the little lamb, and then the little lamb talks to the king, and the king talks to the people everywhere? Or is it the lamb that talks to the night wind who talks to the people everywhere, who then talks to the king, and he says, do you know what I know? Or do you hear what I hear?
Listen.
The child shivers in the cold. We will bring him silver and gold. I love that. That's my Christmas tune.
No, listen to me.
I love that song.
Little Drummer Girl.
I like that.
It's all set up. It's right there on your racket. A little drummer girl.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we have her bring her whole kit?
If you want, Little Drummer Girl.
Let me read. But I think we need a new band name.
No.
I do.
Let me ask you this.
Hang on.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
How many original members are in Leonard Skinner?
None. Yeah, none.
Right. So just because we're swapping out a few members doesn't mean it's not Country Evil.
And sometimes you do put your son in the
Van Halen, Wolfgang Van Halen,
in the band when you're kind of hanging on, and all you got you've gone from arenas and now you're playing at casinos, and the next thing you know you're playing Sunday at the Dementia Center. When you're just kind of hanging on, you do include your kid.
It's always Country Evil.
You know
it can
what?
Be Country Evil Unplugged. It can be Country Evil Redo.
Matt, what are your thoughts on this? Matt, off the mic. We need you on the mic because my thoughts were this. This is what hit me. Okay.
Unless it's a much better name than Country Evil.
Because what Alex said when I saw him in Bartels, he said, I'm part of the Ron and Don Nation. And I said, what if the band was just called, drumroll please, what if the band was called The Nation?
How's that better?
Nation.
How is that better than Country Evil?
I don't think it is.
better.
I'm just worried about singing Christmas songs about Jesus, or Jesus, as we like to say in New Mexico,
That's
where
a
you and I
fair
grew
point.
up,
That's a
with
good
a
point.
band called Country Evil. I don't want to get struck dead during the holidays.
That's a good point.
So that's my concern. At the same time, Matt, what do you think? Do you like the Nation? Do you like Country Evil? Do we stay with the band? And I do. Do you still have your cape?
I think I still have the cape somewhere.
Oh man, I think maybe we should let Liz wear the cape.
I can find the cape. I can definitely find the cape.
Anyway, Matt, thoughts? The Nation, Country Evil.
I have to side with Ron on this one. I'm sorry. I really think you stick with the name. You use the value that the name already has.
Okay.
You've got the sign.
We do have the sign.
So we can put that up. And also, I think just because the name is Country Evil doesn't mean that you're evil.
Exactly.
Thank you. I
So
do
you
like
can
to be
still
evil.
sing about- you can
I
still-
do like being evil sometimes, though. Don't you? Of course you do.
Ron and Don's Top 5 at 5.
Number 2.
All right, let's get to story number 2, why we're always late. I used to be late. This is a very interesting topic. And then Ron pulled me aside one day in a very serious fashion. And he said, you know what? I don't like that you're always late. And I thought, well, the reason, and I thought it was kind of funny that I was late. And but then you sat down and you talked to me about the way that it made you feel. And you made some really good, and I'm not going to go into it right now, but I thought the points that you made were very good. And you're just like, hey, I know you have a lot going on with your kid and all that. That's kind of a built-in excuse for people sometimes, though. I don't want that to be a built-in excuse. If you're going to be late, can you just kind of give me a heads up? So I do that now. Like if I'm even coming here, if I feel like I'm going to be here 5 minutes after, which most of the time I'm here on time, but I'm not going to be. And I don't wait until it's typically 5 minutes till, unless I'm on the phone, unless we're doing a real estate thing and I'm on the phone with someone else. We're doing a Zoom call. But most of the time I'll say, hey, it's 30 minutes, sometimes an hour ahead of time. If I know I'm going to be 5 minutes late, I try to signal that. You, on the other hand, are always early, but you're like early, right? And then I noticed the other day, we're at the coffee shop, and I got there pretty early before we were supposed to meet, and I pulled in, and I went, damn it, there's Ron's car. He beat me again, and I was going to try to out early you.
There's only one person in our lives that out earlies me.
Who's that?
And that's our home inspector, John Langmeyer.
Yes.
I cannot out early that guy.
You
I've been
can't-
there 40 minutes early.
You
before,
cannot out early,
and
John.
he was already there.
Wait, talk to us a little bit about why you're always you're always early, which means you're always on time.
It's interesting. There was this article where scientists are trying to figure out and categorize people and sort of figure out what is going on, because in our society, it's really interesting because he brought some cultures into it. So he's like, United States, Germany, Japan, it's a sign of respect to show up on time or a little bit early. You are saying the social contract in those types of societies is, if you are on time, you are respecting me. You are showing me that you also value my time. He said in some other cultures, like Latin America, let's say, it's a lot looser. And so nobody feels like it needs to be exactly to the minute, because they know if I was on the street, if I'm on my way to the podcast and I run into my good friend and we sit there and we catch up for 5-10 minutes and then I'm late to the podcast and I say, oh, I ran into Don and we caught up for 10 minutes. It's more rude to cut your friend off that you haven't seen on the street than it would be to be 5 minutes late to the podcast. So there are some cultural overlays there. But I think if you are in the society, that it is a show of respect. And so to me, that was just ingrained in me as a child. And they also threw in some stuff if you're a night owl, or there's a really interesting one that is, and I forget the scientific name that they gave in the study, but it's sort of a perfectionist bias. You, in your mind, you think, my entire preamble to the meeting is going to go perfectly. So my shower is going to take exactly 8 minutes. Breakfast is going to take me 9 minutes. When I take my son to school, there's going to be no traffic, and I'm going to get there and back in 15 minutes. And so you lay out your ramp up to getting there.
But then you forget, you got to, like, I have a new back hair shaver that you can only use in the shower. I'm not good at it. In my back right now, I got cuts all over the place. I'm bleeding back there right now, and it's almost late because I was cutting my back hair with the new shaver. You don't factor that in. You don't factor in. Back shaver, I'm going to be bleeding, and then how do you get a Band-Aid on that? I've already been through 5 T-shirts before I showed up today.
And then you show up and, the Ballard Bridge is up, so that adds 5 minutes to your trip.
That's
and
right.
And then there's construction on the road, and I ran out of gas, so I got to go pop in and just fill up real quick.
Yeah.
And so everyone likes to think that their schedule is going to be perfect, and it's not. So in the article, they said if that's you, if you're that person that fantasizes that everything's going to roll up, double the time. So say your shower's now 10 minutes. The drive's going to be 20 minutes. Just double every increment, double that time and start, and you will be on time. But I think that it's for specifically business-oriented things, I don't think there is an excuse in our culture. It is a show of disrespect. And so if you want to operate in that realm, then you need to adapt. If you don't want to operate in that realm, then there are professions and there are circles that you can run in. If you're a complete night owl and you have no concern for time, then don't work a day job. Like, work a nighttime job, work around other people that time is flexible, and that should be your career. But if you're a night owl and you're like, and I also want to be a stockbroker, well, that doesn't mix. And you showing up late does not do well for your career.
Yeah, I noticed it's weird in our profession. The bar's pretty low to get your license to work in real estate, and it's one of the reasons that only 24% of people that hold a license nationwide did a deal last year, and the top 2% do all the deals, right? And you find out, because sometimes what will happen is I'll run to an open house because I know when it's going to open and I want to go in there and actually connect with the realtor because I think we might have some interest in this property. So I'll go a little early. I'll walk the property. I'm amazed when there's realtors sometimes that show up 20, 25, 30 minutes late to their own open house. And then they'll look around and maybe no one's there and they decide they're going to leave. We went to an open house with one of our buyers. And the realtor was doing it for another realtor, which is pretty common. He just decided that he was hungry and he was going to lunch. And there was a sign on the door, and it didn't say I'd never seen this before. There's a sign on the door that just said, "At lunch, I'll be back in a while." And you're wondering why this house has been on 130.
Have you noticed any difference in the response you get from people?
Well, what I do notice is I'm never late for clients, and I'm always early. And I've noticed with one of my friends, my friend Laura, who's very, very successful. She's one of the most successful commercial realtors. I used to date her like 27 years ago, but we've been best friends for a long time. And she's always late. And she's always late because she's doing things really on behalf of her client. It's not that she's at home and she's watching TV it's never that. It's that she's probably out in her car on a phone call. What I've learned to do with her is just say, hey, so we were going to eat the other night in downtown Seattle. And she said, let's meet at 6:00. And I said, are we meeting at 6:00 Dawn time? Or are we meeting at really 6:18 Laura Miller time? And when I ask her that, when I ask the question like that, She'll show up at 6 or 6:18 or whatever it is. She always shows up on time now, at least for me. And I try to show up on time for you. And that helped me start showing up time for other people, because I do think it's a lesson of disrespect when you don't do that. So don't go anywhere. It's the Ron and Don Show. More in a minute. Hey, you guys, Ron and Don reminding you a toy is so important for a child this holiday season. Yeah, that's why our friends at Les Schwab, they have put together this tremendous toy drive. They've done it for 30 years now, Ron, and they want to make sure that every child gets that toy, which is a symbol of joy and also a symbol that you have not been forgotten. That's right, 30 years now. Les Schwab has not forgotten kids. Together with your support and generosity, they've helped local kids feel the magic of the holidays.
Yeah, and this is the final week. I know everyone gets busy this time of year, and you've been thinking, yeah, I've been meaning to do this. I've been meaning to take an unwrapped toy to my local Les Schwab. It's just gotten away from me. I got so many parties to go to. This is the final week to donate. And so this makes an immediate difference for families right here in Seattle. So buy an unwrapped toy. Take it to Les Schwab. You can just drive up. You can even just roll down the window. Les Schwab will come out and grab that toy from you. This goes till the 15th of December here in the Seattle Les Schwab area. And so get an unwrapped toy and help a kid right here in our own community.
Yeah. We want you to hurry in today, donate that new unwrapped toy as we come together with small acts that create big joy. Yeah, from your friends at Les Schwab, who, well, you get more from Les this holiday season.
If you find yourself dreaming about a new home, go from just a dream to the Dream Team. Schedule your time at ronanddonsitdown.com.
Ron and Don's Top 5 Back 5.
Number 3.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Ron and Don Show. I just read this article, and I don't know how Ron and I are going to talk about this because it has to do with sex.
Okay.
I'm pretty comfortable talking about sex because I got a 15-year-old, and we've been talking about sex lately. In fact, we're reading a book by Scott Galloway I shared with you. He's a good follow. He just did a Super Soul conversation with Oprah Winfrey.
Did it go well?
And you know me, I love a good Oprah Super Soul conversation.
Can I do a quick aside on Oprah? I was thinking about this the other day in the shower.
She looks great, by the way.
Has Oprah ever taken responsibility for unleashing Dr. Oz and Phil into the world?
No.
She was the executive producer of both of their careers.
She was, yeah.
And like both of those guys are Oprah proteges. Has she ever said anything that you've heard of about how that ended up?
No, and their TV careers basically fell apart after she stopped platforming them, right?
But both of them went way MAGA
Well,
world.
what you've seen them do is kind of what Megyn Kelly did. When they weren't doing well on TV anymore and couldn't get jobs, they just looked at it and went, you know what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to tack to the conspiracy stuff.
We're going to have to go My Pillow on everybody.
That's what. And now that you look at Megyn Kelly, I mean, she got kicked off of the Today Show, right? And she was trying to reinvent herself. She said, "You know what I'll do is I'll do the My Pillow stuff," which Megyn Kelly is kind of the
I just wonder because
female version.
I wish she would come out and address that because
good point.
Anyway, so back to Scott Galloway. I follow him. He's very good.
The good news is her and Gail are still best friends.
Yeah.
And they did spend Christmas together last year with Stedman, which I kind of wonder about sometimes.
I like Scott Galloway's message for young men.
It's very, very good. And if you don't know Scott Galloway is, look him up. And he's a great professor. He started lots of businesses. He's been very successful.
Multi-millionaire.
I relate to him. He talks about being an older dad and then wondering how am I going to raise kids in a world like this where they're tucked to their screens. They said, do you buy this? 1 in 5 people say that are above the age of 18. 1 in 5 people, Americans, humans, say that they didn't have sex last year.
That seems almost low to me.
That seems low to me.
Yeah, that seems low.
I think there's some people out there lying, right?
Absolutely.
And then they said that, but 65% of those people said that they hope to be in a relationship next year and having sex within a relationship. I think the interesting thing is, like when you look at kids today, they don't drink, and then a lot of people say, well, because they're doing dope and they're doing marijuana and all that. I don't think so. I think their parents are. I think as you like a lot of people that I know that stop drinking, they smoke the shiznit out of marijuana now, and people that are doing that, you better be careful and you better read some studies.
It is a complete cultural shift because, like,
Yes.
the woman I'm dating has daughters, and I cannot. They will have parties at the house
Yeah.
when mom is there, and all the friends are over, and I'm like. Never in a million years would you and I have thought to have a party at the house when Bob and Alice were around. Are you kidding me?
We're gonna put the keg.
Like, I mean, exactly. When there's no keg, and they have a great time, they'll sit around and talk or play games or like go play Mario Kart, and other kids are playing cards, and I'm like. What kind of party is this?
The thing is, though, it's not a dating culture. And what Scott talks about a little bit is he said, you know, what's happening is when kids are at home on their screens, it means that they're not out getting drunk or they're not out doing things they're not supposed to do, which means they're not in a bar and maybe they're not meeting a girl and they're not discovering their sexuality.
Well,
and all
they
that.
have no way of knowing how to approach someone of the opposite sex.
Yeah, they talked
in
about
real life.
They talked about young people and especially young men. When you look at the amount of young men that live at home and they're 30 years of age, what's happening, even for those that go off to a trade school or go off to college, typically maybe you find a partner, you get married. A lot of those young men are actually returning home, especially the young men that drop out of college. Women aren't. In fact, women own more real estate now across the country, are buying more homes than men are. So I thought this was kind of interesting, though. He said if you're not out and about and you're not being social, then you're not putting yourself in a situation. And then when you are in that situation, do you have the ability to talk? And I noticed this in volunteering at my son's high school. When I drive the kids, for instance, having conversations with them can be very, very hard. I was giving some rides, and like I'll give some rides this weekend to some wrestlers. They'll all get in the car. They all immediately get on their phones, and nobody talks to each other.
Yeah,
like, you could be driving. There's no conversation going on, so I'll sit there and try to get a conversation going, and you're like the dumbest person in the world for trying to get a conversation going, and that's when you're boomer,
right?
Now you're boomer.
It's hard to have sex when you can't say hello,
right?
Ron and Don's Top 5 Backfire.
Number 4.
All right, I did some research on the earlobe controversy. Would you like to explain what the controversy is?
No, I don't.
Because we got into this last week.
Hold on.
I watch the podcast now. All I do is stare at your earlobes and mine. And I'm like, oh my God. They say if we got creases in our earlobes, we could drop dead any moment of cardiac arrest. Then I look at Matt's earlobes over there. He has some sweet ass earlobes. Can I say that on a family show?
Sure.
Can I say sweet ass? He has some sweet ass, non-crunchy earlobes. So, Matt, do you want to know what I found?
Hold on.
Would you like to know what I found out?
Why have you been obsessing about death and mortality so much lately?
Man,
all you do is think about dying.
Yeah, every day.
And like how you can have squeeze a little more longevity out of everything. It's getting a little annoying, actually.
Yeah, I'm annoyed by it.
Right, because the other day you're like, "What's your creatine input?" I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to have a $9 coffee at Cafe Ladro. Like, I don't need to talk about
Yours
creatine.
Was 9? Mine was 11.
Mine was 12 ounces.
Oh, I had 2 more ounces.
A drip coffee.
I know.
It's nuts.
Coffee prices.
So why are you obsessed on mortality? Are you afraid to die? What's going on?
No, I think as you head towards, you're still kind of around the double nickel. When you head towards 60, you have to accept it at some point. And they say
you accept what?
When you can accept death. That's why older.
I'm not accepting death.
Yeah, you haven't accepted it yet. You
are fixated.
You're going to be too,
earlobes,
buddy. I'm 3 years ahead of you. You're going to be
Enjoy life.
I am enjoying life. Who enjoys life more than I do? But at the same time, we got to take a look at our earlobes. This is how we're going to get people. There's a lot of older people that listen to this show that don't even know what YouTube is. Go to YouTube. Go to Spotify. Look at the show. Look at Ron's earlobes and look at my earlobes.
So
we have
do the math.
We have cardiac earlobes. That's
more than half of the people.
That's what we have.
Over half of the people with an earlobe crease do not have a cardiac risk. Where would you say for your age you are?
It's still pretty high.
Where would you say?
What do you mean more than half? That's really high.
Where do you think you sit relative to other people your age cardiovascularly?
Pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I would say in the top 3%, 2%
No,
of
higher.
1%?
Half of 1%.
Okay, so you're in the very top
Jeez.
half of 1%.
Look at me.
Of cardiac fitness.
Thank you.
And so why would you obsess about your earlobe? That doesn't apply to you.
It's the Ron and Don.
It doesn't apply to you.
It's the Ron and Don show. You got creases in your earlobes. I don't want you dropping dead anytime because you're certainly not in the top 1%.
I'm not on top 1%.
So here's what I found out. I have good news.
Okay.
And I think this is what happened. Are you ready for the good news?
Yes.
I think I debunked it. Number one, they say, and this is, if you notice, Matt doesn't wear the headphones. Did you notice a couple of years ago I stopped wearing headphones during the show?
Yeah.
And you were wearing headphones the whole time. You didn't have a crease in your earlobes until you started wearing
over-the-ear headphones
that were too small for your head. That's why I stopped wearing those, and you started wearing them. I went, I bet he gets creases in his ears, and that's where your creases came from. They came from the headphones. So you got to be careful of that. The other thing you have to be careful of is when you have back problems. Do you have back problems?
Not
Do you
so
sleep
much.
on your side?
Most of the time.
That's right. That's why you have creases in your earlobes too. So you have to stop sleeping on your side, and you have to stop wearing the little Beat cool kid headphones because that's what gave you. Has nothing to do with you dropping dead anytime soon.
Or
it has to do with you stealing my headphones, wearing the headphones, and then I think you figured out they were giving you creases, and now you gave them to Matt, and Matt, you're about 3.5 years away if you keep wearing those little Beat headphones. To having creases in his ears.
Or, how about this? You cannot fixate on every news story about death.
Hey, you guys, don't forget, we're sponsored by our friends at Les Schwab. The Les Schwab Toy Drive is going on right now. Ron, tell everybody about the Les Schwab Toy Drive.
Please, if you've had a decent year, there's nothing greater the gift that you can do in our community than to give a toy to a child that may not get one this year. Buy a new unwrapped toy. I'm actually going to go buy some toys after the show today. Take them to your local Les Schwab. You can also, but they have a wish list online too. If you go to leschwab.com, you can search for that. This ends on December 15th though, so we need you to act and not procrastinate at 15th, and you're going to help all the toys stay in the community where you're at.
And if you're not near a store, what you can do is you can go to Fox 13 Seattle. I did this the other day. I have lots of friends going to Fox 13 Seattle because we're doing it with the folks over at Fox. You can go ahead and just you can buy a toy, send a toy. They'll tell you where to drop off the toy. There's some places coming up where they have games and whatnot. They're collecting toys at some sports events around here, but you can just give a financial donation as well.
You can do it online or do it in person, but it's fun to go to shop for a toy.
There you go. Ron and Don Show, working with our good friends at Fox, our good friend David over there, who people don't know this. Every night when he does the nightly news, he has tactical boots on. And
I know that.
Yeah. More in a minute.
Ron and Don, from radio to real estate. When you're ready to grab a cup of coffee and sit down with the guys, go to ronanddonsitdown.com.
Ron and Don's Top 5 Back 5.
Number 5.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Ron and Don Show. It's Ron and Don's Top 5 at 5 because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And Story 5 is brought to you by Ron of the Ron and Don about happiness, and happiness is not making money, or happiness is not spending money, happiness is not collecting money. What is this?
Well,
Happiness is what?
This is an interesting. There's a new book. I actually saw him. He did a hit with Professor Galloway. Actually, it's a new book called The Art of Spending Money.
The Art of Spending Money.
And in it, it crystallized for me when I read this, because we just went through Black Friday, and I, like most people, I think you bought a couple things just because it was Black Friday. Mm-hmm. Like I bought this little grill thingamabob that, like, just, it was such a good deal, and it was on Black Friday, and I got it yesterday, and I was like, okay, like, it looked great online, and I don't necessarily regret
What are you
buying
gonna do?
it.
What are you gonna do with the grill thingamabob?
It's weird because it had, the thing I liked about it is it has these little warming trays that go under the heating element.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that seems fun when having a party. I can keep stuff warm.
Is this like a hot dog maker that our parents bought back in
A little
'76?
bit like a hot dog maker.
And then they shelf that, and then they're dead and in the box,
little bit
not
like
to
that.
talk about death again. And then you're like, why did they buy this hot dog maker
Exactly.
that we never
So
used?
it's one of those.
Okay.
But in this story, what he talks about is like, in The Art of Spending Money and in this article, is your brain doesn't necessarily want the new thing. Or if you have the example he gets is like, if you have a $50,000 car and you're coveting the $100,000 car, what you're really doing is your brain is seeking dopamine. In the act of anticipating getting the thing.
Correct.
And it could be a relationship, it could be a car, it could be this grill, it can be if you're obsessively shopping.
Can we stop the show for a minute?
Sure.
Stop the show.
So are you comparing, you get the same kind of dopamine from the grill that you bought at Amazon than you do from your girlfriend?
I'm not saying that.
That you're not having sex with because 1 in 5 people aren't having sex?
It's Scott.
Because they're out buying these grills and playing with these grills and wondering what to do with the grill.
It depends on the person. If you get a dopamine hit when you hit buy now, then yes, that's what I'm saying.
Did you get a dopamine hit from buying now?
I think I did. I got a dopamine hit from anticipating that, like, this grill, in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to have a party, and I got these warming trays, and people are going to love it, and I got the little grill out.
Are we going to, December 10th is Pozole night at Ron's house. Are we going to see the grill?
I'll bring it out.
Night?
I'll bring it out.
Are you going to make something on it?
Put something in the warming tray.
I want to see the grill.
I will bring it out. You can take a picture of the warming grill.
I want to see the grill in full effect.
And so, but it's profound though if you really think about it. Where it's like if you can put in your sequence of your life, when you're having these desires to pursue something or desires to anticipate, if I just had a boat, if I just got a promotion, if I just bought a house, if I just whatever it is, then I would be happy. Yeah. When you get into that loop, your body is just craving a dopamine hit. And you've always told me, and I'm trying to do this better, you can get a dopamine hit by exercising. You can get a dopamine hit by going out into the woods.
You will get a dopamine hit by going out in the woods or exercising. It's guaranteed. It's not just guaranteed. That's a guarantee.
And so when you find yourself in these loops of craving to say and I just did this the other night, like I didn't need ice cream, but I went and got an ice cream. Why? Because my brain, when I had that ice cream.
What'd you get?
I got Ben & Jerry's. You and I were talking about ice cream, and I went and got an ice cream.
Where do you get a Ben & Jerry's at?
At the bodega up the street from my house has the little guys.
Oh, what flavor?
It's the one that had chocolate.
Is it the Jimmy Fallon one?
Oh, no. But anyway. Okay. So I did get a little dopamine hit.
Yeah.
But then the next morning I was like, man, I didn't need that ice cream.
It was the next morning?
Well, even after I had it. I didn't eat the whole pint, but I just had a little bit. I was like, I didn't need that. I was craving that I'd been through whatever moment I'd been through, and I was anticipating, you know what I need? There's a little dopamine hit.
Comfort.
And in that moment, it took the form of ice cream. And so in this thing, I actually might get this guy's book.
Why can't it take the form of a banana? Like, I've never eaten a banana and go, wow, I just got one hell of a dopamine hit.
Right.
Throwing down some potassium.
Right.
It never
These
happened.
green beans really hit the spot.
But you're right. You eat the ice cream, man. It doesn't
get that
matter.
dopamine hit.
Yeah. We were having a turkey dinner on Thanksgiving, and when the pies came out, the dopamine. So dopamine must be connected to sugar.
If you can master this or get closer to mastering this, where in your mind, when that is triggered, if you can interrupt that cycle and go, I don't really need the $100,000 car or the whatever it is, fill in the blank.
I need the $120,000 car.
Right. Yeah. My brain is in search of a dopamine hit and build some other ways to get that dopamine hit in your life.
So you can't have ice cream?
You can have ice cream. You can have all the stuff.
Why would you feel bad about having ice cream?
It's because I'm in a phase where I need to lose some weight. I've had a couple things happen in my life where my exercise went to zero for a cause, and now I'm trying to dig my way out of that. And so I'm unhappy with my weight right now because of those things. And so I just found it an insightful article and we all know that message, but sometimes it shows up in a different way. We're like, I get that. It's the hedonic treadmill, however you want to talk about it. But in our lives, the person that is truly successful is the one that is satisfied with what they already have.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's the game.
It's interesting. I was walking through, we got done with the Seahawk game the other night.
Were you walking on sunshine?
I wanted to walk all the way home. I just wanted to walk home. So, and I wanted to walk through downtown, and the reason I wanted to, and I'll share something with you that makes me feel a little but I'll share it with you because I think it connects to what you're saying. So Seahawks win. You got a dopamine hit from that, and so I'm walking home, and I'm like, I'm going to walk all the way up through Queen Anne and all that, and I want to walk all the way through downtown and just kind of experience Christmas time. And as I'm walking through downtown, like I don't go to strip clubs in Seattle, but when we lived in New Orleans, we had a lot of strip clubs that even sponsored our radio station. Same in Dallas.
Like business meetings.
And we would go to strip clubs there, and you could have like a steak dinner, and they were a lot of fun. The strip clubs were a blast, and they always had alcohol. And so I always participated in the alcohol part. It was very, very fun. And it's not something where I would go on my own, but I would go with friends, and we go with people from the radio station. Sometimes I go with my girlfriend in Dallas. Anyway, I'm walking home, and they say the thing about strip clubs in Seattle that make them no fun is they don't have they don't serve alcohol. So I'm walking by where the Lusty Lady used to be, and across the street, and I'm looking at all the Christmas decorations and all that. There's the Deja Vu. Now serving alcohol.
Okay.
And I wanted to go in there. I'm like, I would really like to go in there right now into the strip club, and I would like to go in there and sit and like when I go to games, when I do, I don't drink. I don't. It's a lifestyle decision.
That would have been a dopamine hit. I don't know if you went in or not.
That would have been. I didn't. That would have been a huge dopamine hit. And the thing is that if I would have done that, because that's not what I do. Like, I know it's not the strip club. It's going in there, mixing the strip club with the alcohol, and going in there alone. I would have walked out of there with such shame. Like, they're just because I would have been disappointed in myself.
Right.
And not that there's anything if people want to do that, but for me, it's like, that's not the human that I am right now, or the human that I am anymore. But boy, did I want that dopamine hit. It was like, and I just kept walking. And
so the hopefully the dopamine realization later that you appealed to your better angels was a good boost later on.
I felt really, they say when something calls to you like that, there's about 20 minutes you got to get through, and I just kept walking, and I felt good about that, and I found the dopamine hit that I got from walking all the way home in the cool breeze and the night air and Christmas time in Seattle and all that. It was a blast. So if it was a strip club where they offered ice cream, we'd both be screwed.
That would be touche. Speaking of real estate, it's a great time to buy. If you want to, I'm serious now. I'm getting in the final stretch of my own personal investment property.
Yeah.
I would love to meet with some investors going into 2026, where this is your year to make an investment buy. And so go to ronandonsitdown.com right here. We sell the sound. I'd love to meet with some folks this year, and especially some of the stuff coming up in a future episode about where wealth comes from. You should be thinking real estate.
The prices
right now.
you see right now in Seattle real estate, you're not going to see probably after February 15th, and you may not see again. Like, there's a lull happening, and it's not that there's not qualified buyers and plenty of money out there, because there's lots of money out there. And the springboard is a true springboard, and people they come out of the woodwork, and they'll spend a lot of money. There'll be lots of cash deals out there, always are. Right now, you can even get deals where a house has been on 100 days, and you can get it financed. And not only are real estate companies going to work with you, but the seller's going to work with you, and also the finance people are going to work with you. And the cool thing is, if you finance it and can get a better interest rate in a year from now, a lot of times finance people will say, hey, if you finance in the next year or two, I'll do it for free if you give me the business now, because business is slow. This is like, listen to Warren Buffett. When people are running away from stuff or not paying attention to stuff, that's when you move to it. And when everyone's moving to it in the spring, that's when everyone's going to want to buy it. And you should already bought it. So ronandonsitdown.com. We could sit down and talk about that today. Also, this is Monday's show. Don't forget, coming up on Friday's show this week, Ron is going to explain what?
Where the assets are by age group and how you can actually build transformational wealth in your life.
Yeah, don't forget, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, we do the Ron and Don show, similar to what you heard on Cairo. You heard the top 5 at 5 today. And then on Friday, it's just 15 minutes. It's real estate only. And we try to share some things with you that make you a better buyer, seller, or investor, and certainly a better negotiator. All right. I want to thank Matt today, and Grace, and my son, and our good friend Charlie the dog. He's Ron, and I'm Don. Don't forget, if you want a buyer's playbook or a seller's playbook, we can send that to you online, so just reach out to us. Also, follow us on our social media channels, because a lot of what we're doing here, we peel off some reels sometimes. I'm Don O'Neill on Facebook and also on Instagram, and he is Ron Upshaw. Again, that buyer's playbook and that seller's playbook, before you enter the market, you want to make sure you sit down, have a cup of coffee, and read that. Okay? Till next time, keep your head up and your shoulders back, and don't forget that you've been listening to the Ron and Don Show all day on the Ron and Don Radio Network.
Well, that's it. Show's over. We'll see you next time on the Ron and Don Radio Network.